Hi everyone, Robert Kajiwara here, talking again about the fire that devastated Okinawa's Shuri Castle. So first off, we want to talk about the cause of the fire, and the fire department has done an investigation about this. So far, they haven't been able to figure out what exactly caused the fire. They're continuing to work on it to get down to the details to see what exactly caused this fire, but their initial investigation, anyway, has not been conclusive. However, they have stated that the possibility of arson is very low. They don't think it's arson, at least not right now, anyway, because they said there were no signs of forced entry into the castle complex. There have been a ton of rumors going around the internet and word of mouth regarding who or what started this fire. There's really no truth to those rumors. They're just hearsay. The two most common rumors I've heard among Okinawans is that one, the fire was caused by Japanese supremacists, and two, the fire was caused by a tourist who lit a cigarette. There doesn't seem to be truth to either of those rumors. Regarding the first one, Japanese supremacists. Look, Japanese supremacists are very bad people. Okay, they're not good people at all. You know, I dislike them. You know, they harass me a lot. They harass my supporters, my team. I mean, they start so many false rumors. They spread hateful lies and hateful messages all across the internet. But it doesn't seem like they started this fire at Shuri Castle. There doesn't seem to be any evidence for that. Okay, so that rumor appears to not be true. For the second rumor about the tourist lighting a cigarette and tossing it and started this fire at Shuri Castle, I was skeptical of that from the start because the fire started around 2:30 a.m. Okinawa time, when the park is closed. The castle complex is closed at that time. So for a tourist to be in the castle at 2:30 a.m., I mean, it never made sense from the start, unless they broke in. Well, that would be different. But it's not like a tourist was just careless. So again, there doesn't appear to be any truth to that rumor either. In fact, that rumor was actually written on Wikipedia, on Shuri Castle's Wikipedia page. Someone wrote that in. They said the cause of the fire was a tourist lit a cigarette. And I saw that almost immediately after the fire began. I checked again today. Wikipedia has taken that down, so that's good. But you see, that's an instance of Wikipedia, well, someone spreading false information via Wikipedia. So again, there appears to be no truth to that rumor either. Now, a lot of people are concerned about the historical artifacts and documents and other items that were stored and on display in Shuri Castle that were damaged or destroyed in the fire. Just a few hours ago, the Mainichi released a short article about this. They stated that are about 1,500 historical items total stored on the castle complex. However, 1,100 of those are stored in fireproof archives. They haven't been able to open the archives yet because it's still hot from the fire. But most likely, well, we're hoping anyway that the items stored in the fireproof archives are safe, because I mean it's fireproof. Okay, now there were around 400 items on display in Shuri Castle itself, the main buildings themselves that were destroyed in the fire. So those 400 items appear to be totally gone now. However, one important thing to keep in mind is that a lot of those items that were on display in the castle were actually replicas and not the original historical items. They were replicas, very well made replicas, but not the original historical items. And that's something that the Mainichi left out. I've been to Shuri Castle quite a few times. I've seen these items on display for myself. A lot of them were replicas. Now, this is nothing against the Mainichi. Generally, they do a good job reporting. But in this case, I think they kind of left that important detail out of their article. It's still a tragedy. The fire is still a tragedy. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take anything away from that. But losing replicas is not quite, well, it's not nearly as severe as losing the original items themselves. We're still waiting for the exact details as to which items were destroyed. How many of them were replicas? How many of them were, actual historical items? But the general rule of thumb for museums is that you don't store or display precious historical items in a fire-prone area or in an area where they're likely to be damaged. General rule of thumb for museums is you take much better care and much more precautions for precious historical items. So I'm really hoping that most of the 400 items destroyed were not, the real thing, that they were just replicas. The journalists reporting on these things, they're journalists. They're not scholars. They're not historians. They're just journalists. They're trying their best to do their job. So I don't mean anything against the Mainichi in this case, but I do think, they left that key part out. Okay, so the Japan government at several different levels has opened donation boxes and bank accounts that people can donate money to in order to help pay for the rebuilding of Shuri Castle. And they've actually asked people to donate. However, my problem with that is that the Okinawan people, the average Okinawan person, should not have to give our hard-earned paycheck in order to pay for the rebuilding of this castle. Okay, it should come from the Japan central government. It was their responsibility to take care of this castle, and twice, it was destroyed under their watch. It was their responsibility, and twice they failed to protect the castle. First in 1945, and now here in 2019. It's their responsibility. They forcefully invaded and annexed Ryukyu, Okinawa, in 1879. They did it by force against the will of the Okinawan people, okay? It's their responsibility to make sure that Okinawa's precious historical buildings are taken care of. And they've really done a bad job of that. They've totally been negligent in that regard. And now they want to ask the Okinawan people to give money to pay for the rebuilding. It should come from them. The Japan central government spends trillions of yen every year. They spend it on the U.S. military against the will of the Okinawan people. The Okinawan people don't even want the military in Okinawa. So they impose the military on the Okinawan people. They spend trillions of yen every year, and now they have the audacity to ask Okinawans to pay for the rebuilding of Shuri Castle. Here's an idea. You take that trillions of yen that you're spending on the military, and instead you spend part of it on the rebuilding of Shuri Castle. Okay? That's what the Japan government should be doing, not expecting the average Okinawan person. Okinawans are not rich. In fact, Okinawans are actually kind of poor. So, yeah, it should not come from the Okinawan people, at least not the money. I think the money should come from the Japan central government. I heard that some U.S. military members are also they also set up their own fund to donate. I think that's great. So Japan and the U.S., they should be the ones paying for this because of all the horrible things they've done against Okinawans. So it doesn't change the fact that Okinawans don't want the military in in Okinawa. Okay, it doesn't change the fact that the U.S. military, they've committed a number of crimes. They've done horrible things against the Okinawan people, and they're very much an unwanted presence in Okinawa. But at least it's a nice gesture for the military to donate some money. Now, for some good news, it is confirmed that the two stone dragon statues that were standing in front of the main building of the castle, they did survive. They are still standing. They're kind of blackened. They look kind of blackened from the smoke, but they appear to be okay. Also, the Utaki, or the Sacred Grove, that is located just outside of the castle courtyard, that appears to also be fine, as well as a number of other sacred sites in the castle complex. They appear to be fine. So that's some good news. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more of our videos. I talk a lot about Okinawa and also about Hawaii, because there's a very close relationship between Okinawa and Hawaii. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.